Persephone White here, and I'm just going to briefly go over the meaning of November, just some things that are of significance, and touch upon The Economist again. And when I initially saw this ghost month, I thought maybe it might represent September, when the Asian culture celebrates feeding ghosts. It's their ghost month. Although we also have November 2nd, which is the Day of the Dead. Of course, I always see the flowers associated with death. Idea that flowers represent resurrection. They grow upon the soil in which dead bodies fertilize. Of course, there's the story that roses grew upon the area that Jesus was resurrected. And then always the idea of pushing up daisies. Another interesting part to November is that Saint Anne, Jesus' grandmother, is born on November 20th, and every year they have the Feast of Immaculate Conception on December 8th to celebrate Mary's Immaculate Conception, in which God blessed the birth. And this actually is a story that can be found in the Muslim religion about an Anne who, at an older age, she had been barren, sees a bird and suddenly becomes pregnant. And of course, Isis, in one of her stories, when she's impregnated with Horus, sees a bird as well. Now, just some key dates down here. If these are November dates, we can think of November 3rd as a day of election, voting. Also, November 5th, in terms of Guy Fawkes, who actually fought the 80-year war with Catholic Spain against Protestant Dutch reformers. And it was an anonymous letter that tipped off the monarchy so that he could then be caught with gunpowder and eventually executed a month later. Now, in terms of some other significant areas regarding November, November in the ancient Roman calendar is really the 9th month. And it was at a later date that had 2 added months to give it our current 12-month calendar. And then another interesting feature to November is that many of the Hindu goddesses and gods are celebrated during this time. And one in particular is Shiva and his wife Parvati, which is actually another form of Kali. But Shiva is basically your time figure. He is recycled, much like the sun is recycled, the seasons are recycled. Again, flower symbolism of resurrection. And he can be the dark god that destroys, just as Kali destroys with him. And here they're dancing with the python, dancing with death, dancing with danger. Kali in the blue version. See, and then a sadhu, holy man, shows his devotion to Lord Shiva by pushing the boundaries and breaking taboos, in this case by holding a human bone in his mouth. Here, Lord Shiva on the right, and his wife Parvati, wave to the crowds. Now, the interesting thing is Pavarti, when she forms into Kali, kills demons, and this person is portraying a demon that's on a funeral pyre being burnt. 3 children on a giant elephant. Of like the Trinity idea. The demon on the funeral again. And then interesting over here, a man is 50% Lord Shiva and is 50% his wife. So makes you think of the Baphomet. You're supposed to be complete and whole. You have both. So well balanced. And here we have a holy man wearing a tunic and scarf in saffron yellow, the color that is most loved by Lord Shiva, your father time. Of course, this year they have a whole slew of celebrations during November for these particular gods and goddesses. With Kali, she's going to be celebrated actually on November 10th, but the dark moon comes up on November 11th. And then finally, I just wanted to cover, this is the time of Scorpio, and I had put together a video on the vegetable Scorpio. I just wanted to show you here one that actually they intentionally named it a vegetable Scorpio, but the one I noticed was on 9/23, which this was the fall equinox, and this I put up on Google for a period of time. So if you want to go back and look at it, just had mentioned some interesting meanings behind the gourds over here. Okay. So, meantime, well, this has been interesting. Go over just some of the information of November and what also may tie in further into The Economist. Have a good one. Bye.